Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and thank you for joining me as we talk about a certain Scientific Accelerator Volume 2. That's right, we talk about the manga, and I'll be talking about the volume itself, and this is actually where the fight against Star begins. The sisters get involved, so the Misiksa network and the Misiksa sisters, you know them already, they get involved and integrated into the story, which I thought was really cool, and the plot starts to move forward. Thus, Accelerator starts to take more action, which is always good whenever this character, gets into the swing of things and just starts wrecking stuff left, right and centre. Overall, I thought the volume was very interesting as it drives the plot forward and shows off more of the characters we were introduced in Volume 1. Plus, it gives us some new characters, making things feel a bit more fresher and intriguing us as the audience as to some of the things to come. Now, the new characters all look pretty cool. We don't really know anything about them yet though, we just basically saw them come in. We saw a tiny bit of their personality, but I'll talk about them more later on. So then, starting off at the beginning of the series, the volume even, we have Dar just continuing to show themselves to be absolute scumbags. As they try to dispose of the body that was found in the mecha machine suit thing, back in Volume 1. If you remember, at the end of Volume 1, Accelerator and Steel, they both went to the body to basically kind of let the spirit pass on in peace. But they're interrupted by Dar, and these guys are they're just scum. I could say, worse things about them, and I want to, trust me, but to keep this video PG as possible, let's just call them that. But what I really did like about this part in the manga was actually the sheer madness of Accelerator. Sorry about that. Right, so let's start again. What I really liked about this scene was the sheer madness of Accelerator, as he just starts to get ticked off by how badly these Dar members are failing at being monsters and villains. As in, he comments to say, they are villains, monsters, just like him, but at the end of the day, they're trying to be bad guys, they're trying to be villains, and Accelerator's just getting ticked off by it, because they're just so bad. And, I don't know, I found that kind of funny. We get some fantastic artwork, and the dialogue from both Accelerator and all the other characters involved in this scene was just brilliant. And thanks to Necromancer using her talismans, and the talismans not being removed quick enough, the corpse actually starts to move and listens to Steel's sort of commands and plans now. So she now has a bodyguard as such that is super powerful because it's super enhanced. And yeah, I mean, all round a pretty good scene with some fantastic artwork and good dialogue. Accelerator is just a madman. We all knew this, but it's great to see. And what was also very, very justified, to use that word as a pun, almost. The clowns of Dar being really overconfident and mocking Accelerator for now being weak. They're like, haha, you were once the greatest Esper in all of Academy City, and now, look at you. You're pathetic. You're the weakest. And then Accelerator just absolutely destroys them and wrecks them. And they basically just keep taunting him about the brain damage situation that he suffered thanks to trying to save the Misiksa network, which adds another layer of enjoyment to this kind of section, because you're sat there as a reader reading the volume going, oh dear, these guys are at it again, they're gonna get wrecked. And yes, they do. One guy faints and the other guy just barely gets away, but he's probably wet himself a million times over at this point. And yeah, it's just proves you can't be cocky or arrogant around Accelerator and get away with it. So then, the Misiksa sisters. I thought the Misiksa clone went down a bit too easily, but I understand that she didn't want anyone getting hurt, as in civilians, as well as the fact is, the guy she was fighting had rubber sort of vesting or something on that stopped her electricity attacks from working and stunning him. But I also found the interactions with all the Misiksa sort of clones in this chapter to be pretty fun and enjoyable. They got me to laugh, especially the joke with the handwriting one, where one of the other clones goes to visit Accelerator and says, look, Mizuka something or other was taken away by the enemy. I haven't told anyone this yet, so, do what you will with that information. And of course, this brings Accelerator into action, but I just find that the interactions from these two characters were just really fun. And Last Order didn't appear too much in this volume, but her interactions were very sweet. With waiting for Accelerator to wake up after his injuries. I've said it in my other review. I like the chemistry between Accelerator and Last Order. They bounce off nicely with each other. It's always nice to see. So then, the new characters. Right, so these certainly look interesting. One of them has a really creepy ability where it's like project stuff out of his eye, which, oh, okay, fine. But then you see all these kind of eyes in the sky, and it's like, come on. Are you going to tell me that nobody in the facility actually saw that? So, I mean, it's not the most subtle is availability of abilities, unless it's like the eyes are in space looking down at the planet and it can see in every direction. That might be what they're going for, because it does look like there's stars in the background with this character on the ground still, so maybe that's it. Who knows? Hopefully we find out in the next volume. But yeah, so the humour and the banter that these characters have with each other, I thought was kind of cool and interesting. Like, one's just like, oh, come on, are we finished with the job yet? Can we get paid? And it's like, no, we can't do that. And it felt like they have been friends for a long time. So this group obviously gels together quite nicely. So seeing them doing a coordinated attack, maybe in the future, who knows, would be pretty cool. And then we move on to Hishigata and HARUMI. HARUMI? I think that's how you pronounce the name. And we actually get a reveal for HARUMI in this episode. Volume. Sorry. We get the reveal. And her reveal is not very PG. Like, she's covered in all these weird tentacle-looking or wire-type things that are going everywhere and inwhere of her body and all that. So it's a little bit unsettling. But design from what we've seen so far, it looks alright. It looks kind of cute. And then Hishigashi, he's just planting the seeds because he wants the misiksa clone to power up his machines. You can see like the cracks starting to build up in his relationship between himself and Da. And he even states that once he gets the misiksa clone, he's just going to cut ties with them. So obviously, he's just using them for research purposes. And all round, he had a bit more creepiness to this kind of chapter, but he also gave us more direction as to where things are going. It's obvious that he's the main villain now as of this volume, and I think they did a good job in portraying him as that. We still don't exactly know everything about his plan, except he wants to create the ultimate specimen, machine type thing, and he feels like misiksa clone will be crucial in that in that process. At first, I did think that maybe he thought it was a real Makoto Misiksa, but being a scientist and being in the underworld like he is, I would imagine he's heard of the Misiksa level 6 shift project, or the Accelerator level 6 shift project, I should say. So it's probably safe to assume that he knows that it's a clone. Anyway, moving forward, hopefully we see more from him. So we end off this volume with 5 groups basically out with their own respective purposes. We got Accelerator and Elise just wanting to take down Da and get the misiksa clone back. Maybe take down Hishigashi and HARUMI in the process. Who knows? They haven't really specified a lot in terms of their relationship yet, but it's clear that Estelle and these two on the screen here have a connection. We have Anti-Skill, the good one, trying to battle off and defend himself against Da, which I thought was pretty interesting because it now means that Anti-Skill are in the fray, and the main leader of Anti-Skill, I like her character, she's pretty cool. we have Da that is fighting anti-skill and trying to transport the misiksa clone to Hishigata. And then we have the group of new characters also trying to destroy Da. Just because one of the higher ups that I think was funding Da has just got fed up with them because they've been too bold as of late. So hopefully the new characters show up a bit more because they do look interesting and I want to see more from them. And then we got Hishigata and HARUMI just waiting to betray Da once the misiksa clone arrives into their possession, and probably going to be moving forward with their project of creating a very strong mechanical machine. So all in all, it doesn't look very good for Da altogether, because at the moment it seems like everybody's out to destroy him. And who could blame all the other people wanting to destroy him, because they're just scumbags. But that's just my personal opinion. You might think they're pretty cool. And they do have that high-tech robot that they've just unleashed, which was, I don't know, probably going to be underwhelming if I'm honest, but here we go. And then we also leave off with just what is the question that, the question of what is Hishigata's plan for misiksa? Will we find out in the next volume? Hopefully so. And hopefully we see the new additions as in characters within the series. The plot moves forward. After all, I just want to see some good action, good plot development, and good character progression. Those are 3 things I'm hoping to see in Volume 3. All in all, a great volume as we learn just how wet Estelle got. Remember in Volume 1, she had to go home and change her clothes because she had an accident with the drink dispenser machine. Well, now we know thanks to a cover image. These cover images were pretty cool. They're quite nice, well designed. But with the highlight of this volume altogether for me being the art style and the facial expressions. I think all of them are just fantastic and they all worked excellently well. However, tell me your favourite thing about this volume if you've read it. If you haven't, go check it out. It's a very good volume, especially if you like Accelerator as a character. And come back and let me know what your favourite thing about it was. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.